You know, there is talk of a 24-team playoff field, not just in Division One, but also in the NAI. We're going to talk about both those teams or both of those affiliations tonight. But before we get there, we have a special guest tonight on college football this week, so we want to get right to that. Jerry Quickle, you may have seen him on social media in a number of different reasons, but I think we may have, Doug, the person with the coolest collection in the country as our guest tonight. Joey McWilliams, Doug Gann, Jerry Quickle on with us tonight here on College Football This Week. First, Jerry, thanks for stopping by on a Sunday night. We really appreciate that, especially on a live stream with us. We're grateful to have you on.
Hey, thanks a lot. I appreciate you guys inviting me.
Well, listen, college football is our thing here on Sunday nights, and we do a lot of small college discussion. Now, specifically the NAI, 99+% of the time here. And I know that NAI has found a way into your collection, but just so that you can describe it better than either one of us could, what exactly do you collect?
Full-size football helmets, college football helmets.
Are they all college football?
Well, I do have the NFL. I have some old USFL from back in my era, 1983, 82. But
wow,
primarily it's college football. So,
man, I haven't thought about USFL stuff in a while. I mean, boy, you want to talk about a collector's item? I imagine that definitely is.
Yeah, I think I have 17 of the 18, something like that.
Oh my goodness! Wow, be hard pressed to think of those now. I can think of a couple of the players, but man, all those teams, that's really cool. But let's get to college teams. How many football helmets do you currently have?
The count right now is 662, as Texas Wesleyan sent me one last week and got me to 662.
All right, NAI for a little bit longer, and then they'll be Division II. Doug, I know you have some questions too, but the one I feel like we need to get started with, and I think this is an incredibly cool collection. I've had a few of them in my life that I thought these are neat collections. I think that you just took it to an entirely different level. First off, how do you get into something like this? When did this start, and what prompted you to do this?
Well, this is a 30+ year long collection. So it all goes back to when I was a kid. Now, my dad was a high school football coach. And so when I was a little kid around the game, I like to say my gateway drug were the little gumball helmets.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I was a little kid. So I collected those. And then you graduated into the Dairy Queen helmet and a Sunday in a helmet situation. And then you go from there. So when I got out of college, my first job was working for Riddell, selling helmets, shoulder pads in the state of Kansas and half of Missouri. So I had that territory.
All right.
Look, I just love it, and that's how I saw it. And I hate it. Look, I haven't seen you as it was 2 or 3 days ago. I think that I stumbled across what it was, and I did it because I saw this great collection, and I saw the list, and you were missing LCU, Louisiana Christian University, on there, and I said, I could probably help with that. And I jumped on the phone with Joey, and I said, Joey, have you seen this? And when he told me that he did, but again, I echo Joey's sentiments. This has got to be the coolest thing ever. And what I applaud is my wife. There would be that wouldn't happen. So how is that?
Well, let's put it this way. I started. It was my job for a while,
right?
And so they've always been around. Now, I grew this thing to 256 at one time. And then we had our second child, and we needed to get a bigger house. And so I sold that entire collection to a restaurant bar here in Kansas City.
Oh, my goodness.
Chapel Sports Bar up in North Kansas City.
So the original 256 went away.
Wow.
That was what we were able to use for our down payment on our forever home.
Wow.
And because of that, she tolerates me. And then we have a rule that nothing leaves the basement. I mean, nothing goes upstairs in the regular part of the house.
Okay.
So this is like my apartment down here.
I got you. See, in Louisiana, we can't make that deal because we don't have the basements and we don't have those here. You start getting down below sea level a little bit too much. We don't have any of that. That's a win because I started out with just a couple of things in my office and quickly had to get outside of the house again with mine. But all of these 600 plus, almost 700 are down in your basement.
Yeah, all of them are in here right now. I mean, there's I used to have some at my physical office at work, and I brought all those home, and so I've got them all here. They're interesting how I've got them stacked out just to make sure we've got them all, but they're all in one spot.
Now, I know at one point though they were all out in the front yard, and that is an iconic picture, and that's one that I think of regularly. First off, when did you take that picture? And then tell us about how it got on the national scene.
Well, I've done it twice. The first time I did it, I was in the 400s. And the second time I did it, I was in the mid 500s. That was probably a little over maybe a year and a half ago maybe right at a year ago that I did the last one. It won't happen again.
I've got to think just the job of moving them out, setting them up, and moving them back in would be like, all right, we've got pictures. Now we're close to 700. We don't need that anymore.
Yeah, it's my wife was out of town for the weekend. I thought, well, this basement hadn't been deep cleaned in a long time. I'll just move these up to the garage. And I started moving them up, and you can only carry about 6 or 7 at a time, and there's 20 stairs. So you do the math on that. I was hurting at the end of that deal, but it took me all weekend. I moved them up to the garage, and then the next day I moved them out to the yard, took the photo, moved them back into the garage, and then the next day I moved them back downstairs. So
Jerry, let me tell you how my luck would be. I'd get to about 300 of them and it would start raining and I'd have to get them back in, and I'd be really aggravated with it.
You say that, but it did start raining right as I finished taking the picture. So my 2 neighbors were around, and they were nice enough to help me move them back into the garage. But they that reactivated the smell. You don't know what a football locker room smells like, and they got a little damp out there. It didn't rain too hard on them, but they stayed out in the garage overnight, and it was like walking back into the locker room in the morning. So.
All right, Jerry, really quickly. Of course, we're live here on College Football This Week, and we have a great community here. Absolutely a fantastic community that watches College Football This Week, part of the channel in many ways. And so this one from up in North Dakota, okay? Where's the list? Because if you need a Mayville State Comet helmet, he knows a guy, and Matt's pretty much probably that guy. So do you need a Mayville State helmet?
I have got a White Comets helmet from Coach Rocky.
All right. There we go. Yeah, and by the way, we love Coach Larson. He was on the show about a month or so ago. We love Coach Larson. All right, Matt, there you go. There you go.
Couple of.
If you want to get me a blue one, now that's the
okay.
I've got 2.
There we go.
See, so that works. All right, 2 questions for you, and you answered it. You're missing 2 from Louisiana. Is that right?
Yes. So I'm missing LCU.
Okay.
And I'm missing Grambling of state of Louisiana, and that's a tough one. I
did hear from somewhere, and I don't know, this could be, I heard it in my brain, that your favorite helmet out of all 662 was that LSU one. Is that
well, I don't know. That it is one of my it's one of my favorites. I do like the LSU helmet. It's iconic. And
Which one do you have? What is it? Which one is it?
The gold one.
Okay.
It's above the TV back there, but you can't see it from here. But yeah, I've got the gold one, just the standard.
Love it.
Long time one. So
love it.
All right, I have to ask then, because I'm sure you know a lot about helmets now, and it's the collection in and of itself is cool to get all the logos, to get all the teams, everything's associated with it. The first thing I wanted to ask is just about the actual helmets themselves. I mean, what's the oldest helmet that you have? I'm sure it goes back a little ways. Do you have anything leather?
Yeah, I do have a leather one. I had a guy pull one out from under a stage at a local, not a local high, but a rural high school here in Kansas.
Nice.
Pulled a bag of about 10 of them out from under an
Wow.
old stage, and he sent me one of them. So I've got a leather one. I've got a couple from the late 50s, but then the rest of them, most of the ones that I have are from the late 90s through 2026. So,
Okay.
but I've
All right.
seen, I'm an aficionado. I've seen some stuff, when I was in high school, the bike air helmet came out, and that was the coolest thing of all time. When I was in high school. And so you went from suspension helmets before that to
Right.
water helmets or all kinds of weird stuff to the bike air helmet. And then, so
And they've evolved so much, though. And I mean, even in recent years, I mean, it almost has a different feel just in the last 2 or 3.
yeah, I mean, the scanning of the head and being able to custom make helmets for your specific head they've got all kinds of technology. They've got sensors underneath all the padding. So if you take a shot somewhere, that'll send a note right to the trainer who's wearing a pager. He can look on the computer and see where you got hit, how hard you might want to watch this guy because he got this. And it's crazy. I mean, if you go back and look at the stuff and you see CTE with all these guys from the 70s and 80s and 90s, and you look at it and you go, well, yeah, no wonder. Look at some of the stuff they were playing in. It was really rough.
Oh yeah, and that's even. I mean, I can only imagine the hits have been hard forever. I know Roosevelt or someone around that time was looking to just shut everything down more than 100 years ago because it was just brutal. But even with those helmets back then, and of course they had the ear, not ear muffs, but the ear flaps, I guess, that went down to protect them too.
The old dog ears, they called them. And they, basically that's why it started. The helmet started is because guys were getting their ears ripped off while they were in those piles. So they put a little piece of, strap around, and then that turned into little dog ears. And then when it went to plastic, I don't think the leather part of it really changed it too much, but the plastic part did. It became, weaponized it a little bit. And, so
do you have a single bar helmet?
I do not have a single bar here. Actually, those face masks go for quite a bit if you can find one.
Really?
All those old style face masks, people are they try to custom build these old helmets to make them look cool, but I do not have one.
Okay.
If you had to show one and say, look, this is the coolest one I have. Doesn't have to be your favorite team. Doesn't have to be. If it's like, man, this is really a cool helmet. Is there one that jumps out?
You want to see it?
Oh, I'd love to.
Absolutely. Can you give us a tour, Jerry?
Yeah, actually.
Take us with you. Yes.
Yeah. Let me unplug here for just a second. So I'm a lifelong Kansas fan. I grew up here. I have 27 different Kansas helmets, but probably the coolest one I have is this Minnesota.
Oh wow!
Golden Gophers chrome golden.
That is so cool.
It is really hard to even photograph it.
Yeah, because you're going to get yourself.
Yeah, you definitely get a reflection in it. It's just hard. It's so hard to. But I'm standing right here, so.
Oh
That's
wow!
Northwestern
there you
States.
go.
That's right. That's 45 minutes from where we're at.
Yeah, so there's your old LSU and
go Tigers. There, that's right.
You see those, as I said, you guys.
I see the SEC up there. That's right.
There's the ACC, the SEC. You see a lot of those helmets are older styles because that's when I started. So No, but that Minnesota one's pretty cool, and they're a hard school to get. Bear with me here. I'm going to show you my.
This could be the first ever tour that college football this week has been on.
It absolutely is. No question. All right, Tool Envy's going to the TV now. Phone can't handle the tour.
Okay. So there's all the Kansas helmets back there. So there's 27 of those guys. So
Man,
27 Kansas helmets.
Yeah, when you're a bad program, you change your look all the time. So we've had several over the years, and I that's how you know you're a real fan.
That is so cool.
You got them. That's right.
Absolutely love. And that was one of the things I noticed too from one of the pictures, and I'm trying to recall how far back it goes. I was thinking, am I right in thinking that you had some stuff online around COVID time?
COVID really was I would say where I made a lot of hay in building this thing, and that is because, as you guys know, coaches, it's a 12-month job. They're always doing something. They're very busy, especially at smaller level, because their staffs roll over. They got to do most of the recruiting. They've got to do their camp to make their money, and they got to do all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So when COVID hit, these guys didn't have anything to do. They couldn't go on the road, and they couldn't have a camp, and they couldn't have all this stuff. So I sent a lot of emails out during that time frame, and guys had some time, and I grew it then. But what I find is, wherever you go, if you are genuine about this and you really enjoy it and you want to learn about everybody's school, they are more than happy to show you around, give you a tour, take the time, and give you a helmet or whatever to help you out, because they love it as much as I do.
That's right.
They're just all consumed because the time, it's not like all the big guys where you got a staff that does all this stuff for you.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, since Tool Envy is in the chat right now, I have to ask, and I would imagine this one would be one that would be right up your alley. The two-time defending national champions in the NAI, Grandview. You have a Grandview helmet.
I have two. There's a white one and
wow,
black one right there. It's right next to Ferris State.
Also national champs.
Also national champions. Yeah.
Multiple national champs. Ferris State.
There's the GLIAC over there, and then the Great American Conference right below it there. So
all right, go GAC. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my stomping grounds there.
You can see here, I'm an Emporia State guy.
I was about to say something about that. I saw the shirt when you brought that up. So MIAA, I would imagine you have the whole lot of them.
Yeah, I have the whole deal. I've got a couple Northwest Missouri, a white and a green. I've got
multiple national championships there.
Yeah, I've got four Emporia State helmets because Gann's my guy down there, and he keeps me fresh on stuff. But no, we've got them all.
All right.
Okay,
So,
now hang on, hold on a second, Doug. Let me get the chat really quickly on this one. So we have Leo in the chat tonight. Do you have Benedictine, the Ravens? You have the Ravens.
Yes.
All right. And Randy, who I always see Randy down at a Texas Wesleyan game. Randy, he's already said, had the Texas Wesleyan, most recent one there. He had to climb out of a 2-story cement vault to get the tour. So he's on board tonight. Thanks, Randy, for showing up and letting us know. Props to the Rams there. All right, Doug, go ahead. Want to make sure the community got in.
all right. So in the movie Forrest Gump, he started running and he just runs. And then he said, I stopped. Is there a point where you just say, I've got enough helmets?
Well, it's not about the helmets. It's about the journey. And I try to explain that to people. The helmets are a great, side effect to the whole thing. People, meeting the people I can't tell you how crazy it is now that I walk into a place. I'll travel for work.
Right.
And I'll walk into a place and they know who I am. And
That's great.
look, I sell cereal for a living. I work post cereal. So it's not exactly something people notice me about, but when I walk into a school somewhere, somebody there recognizes me, and it's a lot of fun.
That's so cool.
Okay.
It's a weird hobby, but hey, it's mine. So
Well, I want to go back to the thing really quickly. I had one more for you, Jerry. We won't take all your Sunday night. I'm sure there's a lot that you have going on, but we're very grateful you gave us some time. One of the things I remember seeing in the in one of the pictures, and it may have been the most recent one. Of course, I wasn't thinking about at the time you being there in Olathe, but I just saw the multiples of Kansas, and 27 of them. Which it's not just the color scheme. I mean, I saw a couple of those old school logos. That Jayhawk looks a little different over time. But how many variation? Do you have a lot of them where there are multiples like that, or that's just an anomaly because it's Kansas?
No, I grew up over there. My dad, like I say, he was a football coach, high school football coach all over the state of Kansas. When he had his boys. You didn't make any money back then. So he left the coaching industry, went to work for Procter & Gamble, and he was calling on doctors. Well, the University of Kansas is where all the doctors go to school. So Dad, our season tickets, he would take doctors as part of his deal, and he'd take my brother and I and just dump us down in the end zone and then pick us up after the game. So we watched since we were 5-6 years old, we watched Kansas every weekend, and we idolize those guys, and Nolan Cromwell's my hero to this day, and he's an old guy now. So that's why the deal on Kansas is, and I'm trying to, I'd like to put a whole history of them together of everything. So I've got back to 74, I think. Is as far back as I've got.
Yeah.
But imagine an organ collector.
Oh my goodness. Just from year to year, you're going to get 4 or 5. Were you from the Kansas? And I remember, and we were talking before we got on the air about age, so we won't talk about age. We'll just say Gen X and go from there. But I remember, I think it was 88. Of course, I'm a Big 12 guy. I'm a Big 8 guy.
Big 8 guy.
So I remember, I think it was 88 that it was like 0-10 and 0-10, Kansas State. And I don't know if you tied and wound up, sharing how bad that, season was. Was it 88 or 87, 89, somewhere around in there?
It was 88. Yeah,
okay.
It was the toilet bowl.
The toilet bowl. I wasn't going to say that, but yes, I remember that. But then you look a little bit, and then like 2007, I mean, there was a chance. It was 07, wasn't it? That there was a real opportunity.
Yeah. They in Missouri were number 1 and 2 in the country when they played. That was the craziest thing.
I know it.
That's when the Big 12 came together, and they had the North and South. So that was a little bit of a luck deal thrown into the fact that they had everybody back from the year before, and a real quarterback in Todd Reesing.
Yeah.
And it was just the perfect storm. They didn't play Texas, or they didn't play Oklahoma. They're off. But they ran
that helped a lot.
Everybody else, and they lost to Missouri in that game, and then turned around and went to the Orange Bowl and beat Virginia Tech and finished 12-1. It's magic.
That was that was one of the craziest years ever. It really, really was. I mean, that was wild. So many things happened throughout the entire year. And I think, we'll get to this, Doug, I know we'll talk a little bit about playoffs here in a moment with both affiliations. But that, to me, you look back at that year, and that was a testament to how important the regular season is. Because every single week was crazy. And it got down to those final 2 weeks, when you're getting down, BCS stuff. And I mean, all you need to do is win one game. And that last weekend, nobody won the one game they needed to win to move on.
So it was a little bit of luck losing to Missouri, because then they had to go play Oklahoma in the Big 12 championship game.
Yep.
And then they lose. And so that knocked them out of a New Year's Day game, which they go to the Cotton Bowl and we go to the Orange Bowl. So
yeah.
It was weird.
It was cool how big the regular season was, and I think that's something that
very important.
That it's a big deal to me, and I think folks our age, that really like college football. Well, Doug, anything else for Jerry before we let him go on a Sunday night?
No, Jerry, it's everything that I hoped it would be. Meeting you was such a pleasure. And the answer of it not being about the helmets, being about the story and the people, I think, and I'll speak for Joey too on this. That's why we do what we do. I mean, you'd have thought a week ago that I'd ever get to speak to somebody that's got such a cool hobby like you do. And I get to do it for my job. So, and I love it. Best of luck to you on what you're doing. I'm going to work on LCU for you. I'll have that pretty quick, and I'm going to work on Grambling. I'll make a call on that also.
Well, I appreciate you guys reaching out to me, and anything you can do on something like that's great. But it's all about meeting guys like you and meeting the people at these schools. And if you're up here at Mid-America again, let me know, because
I'm yelling.
I go there all their home games. So
cool. All right. Well, hey, listen, they're not the ODAC anymore. I was there last year, final season, and I was supposed to be there for the new facilities, and then it was a little bit later, so I'm heading back this year, and definitely going to get to see Coach Cordova and all the people up there. So I promise, sir, I will give a shout out. My last question is this, then, before I let you go. I still have a lot of these.
Yeah.
These were in front of my TV this year. I don't know if Doug cares as much about these two or not, but these two were also in front of my TV.
Go see
obviously they're they're a lot more than that. Do you still have any of those?
I do have a couple of those. I have some of the originals still, from the 1970 something.
Yeah.
But those little Pocket Pros, Riddell started selling those when I was working for him. That's when they came out. I was like, oh, this is cool. How do I not get every one of these? So,
okay, I started. This story will go longer than I'm going to keep you. But I started with those. They were selling them, and it wasn't in a gumball machine. I did see them in the gumball machines later. But the first time I saw them, this is in the 70s, late 70s, maybe right at 80. But it was and this is in Ardmore, Oklahoma. It was at the Sizzlin' Sirloin. Okay, so kind of like a Golden Corral, but it was more that, if you know what I'm talking about, If you know, right?
I know.
So it had the big cow out in front, and it's right there. And I mean, this was a good Sunday after church place to go and get something for the whole family. And they had those, and they were just on display after you got all your food right up there and checking out. Now they've got these little helmets up there. And oh my goodness, I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. And I'm still so shocked that my dad would get one for me just about every time. And I couldn't wait to go back the next time. And that wasn't something we did every time. I mean, you don't go to Sizzlin' Sirloin every single week. Well, maybe some rich people did. But anyway, so I was always ready to go get that. And I thought that's what got me into it was those back then. And it was either 79 or 80. But yeah, those were the best.
Yes.
Yeah, the food was okay too, but the helmets.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I didn't go to Dairy Queen without getting a helmet for 2 years.
That's so cool that you got a helmet too. Dairy Queen down here, they sold the baseball helmets.
Yeah, they did football for a while. They were kind of odd looking because they had to have a flat bottom.
Yeah, yeah.
So that kind of made them a little strange looking, but yeah, they had them.
All right. Well,
great.
Jerry Quickle from Olathe, Kansas. Jerry, I'll give you a shout when I'm heading up there. I'll be up there in the fall sometime. So I'll definitely do that. Thank you so much, sir, for doing me both out. We're so grateful you stopped by tonight.
You bet. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks,
All
Jerry.
right. Well, feel free to close on that window once you get in the green room and enjoy your Sunday evening. We'll close your window out. God bless you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, Doug.
That's so good.
What a great Sunday night.
Look, I love it. That's what this, and he is dead on about it too. And these games, but man, it's these memories and these people that we meet that are just it makes it all worthwhile.
It does. All right. We've got just a couple things. And for those who are watching live tonight, first off, we appreciate it. Tool Envy, Randy, Leo, I think if Matt's still on here, and for everyone else who happens to be watching live especially, but if you're watching the replay, thank you so much for watching. Doug, I want to finish the story really quickly because I could have gone on for a long time. I didn't want to keep Jerry all night. But I want to tell you this, what it meant to me, because I remember getting those helmets. And and my grandparents, who lived in New York for a while, we were just actually talking about the picture behind you a little bit earlier before we got on the air. You got Yankee Stadium behind you. Well, they wound up moving down to Ardmore, so they lived near where we were. And my grandmother and my grandpa Joe, Italian man from New York. I mean, Joseph Genosa, Italian man. This guy, he was fantastic. Loved my grandpa. I had gotten a certain amount of these, and I couldn't find any more. And so we'd go back to Sizzling Sirloin again, and for who cares about food? I'm going for the helmet, man. And I'm looking through there, and I can't find them all. And I've got everything that I have. And at the time, there were 28 teams in the NFL at the time. So you've got your 14 in AFC and NFC, and so I got as many as I could find. Long story short, I haven't given up, but for this little 10, 11-year-old kid, I've done everything I know to do. No internet, no way to call. Don't know how to do anything like that.
Right.
I've gotten everything
Couldn't Google it.
Couldn't Google it. Couldn't do this. And Christmas, I want to say it was either 11 or 12. Christmas, my grandpa Joe found all the ones I needed, got all of them for me, and handmade a wooden display me that had little hooks on them, and that I could put all of my helmets on somewhere. I don't know where. Unfortunately, I don't know where it is in all the moves. You would have thought that I'd know where that was.
Right.
I don't know where that one is right now. But it was like the coolest Christmas present ever. I didn't know what to do with myself. I just looked at that thing over and moved all the helmets around over and over again. I loved it, and I thought, that was the best personal gift I could have ever gotten for a kid like that. It meant so much.
Look, I'm telling you, you remember the key moments. You remember some games that make a difference. I remember LSU beating Oklahoma. You remember those things. but it's just a memory like that you have that's really so cool.
Yeah, it really is. It is. And so these are the two that were on there.
Yep.
So you see these. This is your national championship this year. This is, well, who cares about this one? This is, here are your Super Bowl champions, whatever, LX.
There you
All
go.
right, let's bring up, yeah, you're right. Leo says,
yeah, he got the Urban Edge to work this week. On Roku, on the Urban Edge, go in there and search the same way you did that and look for the 446 Sports app. We have one, and you can follow along with us right there on your TV as well.
All right. Dave! Man, it's been a while. Good to see you, Dave. Glad to see you coming up there in the chat. So that's really cool. God bless you, sir. And yearly fishing trip. So did you go outside of Iowa for that? And I hope you caught something. Man, I hope it was worth your while to get to go and do that. Okay, Doug. If we hear from Dave, that's great. If anyway around, let me see here. There are a couple of things here really quickly.
Oh, yes, back to information. Yes.
Yeah, I know. You guys tune in so we try to give you some information. Listen, honestly, okay, seriously, the Jerry Quickle interview, that was the big thing tonight.
Yes.
No question. I hope that we can keep you a little bit longer, but man, that was the big thing tonight. 88 days until week 0 Thursday night. So props to that. Doug, week 0.
Week 0. Yes. So here's a thing that I thought about. Our week 0 is busy. LCU is up the road at Northwestern State. He had a helmet. You saw the helmet from the Demons there on Thursday night, true Thursday game. Well, our jamboree for the school that we do is on Friday night down outside of Baton Rouge. So I said, man, wouldn't it be cool if I could get a flight from there up to Sioux City in Iowa and go see that little tussle between Benedictine and Morningside. And
lo and behold,
you can't. It's $1,300 for a ticket from there to there. So I said, I'm not going to get beat by that. That's not going to do it. For $300, you can fly into Omaha, rent a car, drive about an hour and a half up, spend the day, and I'm gonna go do that. I'm gonna be just walking around enjoying something. Get there. Hopefully, get in on the sideline and watch that one. I think probably we know somebody that can make that happen. But I will be on the sideline for that little tussle in Iowa.
All right. Yeah, I know a person or two there in Sioux City that we can probably get you connected. And you're going to have to now. Okay, 446 Sports for sure, but you're going to have to do some reporting for Midwest Sports Net as well. So we may keep a tracker on you. We may just tag you and send you back out in the wild.
Look, there you go. I can and just find out where Doug's at now. Yeah, we can do that. Looking forward to it. I have no agenda. I have nothing planned to do, but I'm going to go up there and I'm going to be, it won't be my first time in Iowa. It'll be my second. We've been to Dyersville, join the tailgate early. Oh, absolutely. I'm from Louisiana, and that's what we do. The flight is scheduled to get into Omaha at 10:30. Get off the plane because I won't be carrying stuff with me because the flight, when we fly back out, it's a 6:00 game. I should be in by 12:30, 1 o'clock up there on campus. And so, man, I'm looking to just explore and take in. So anybody that's around that way,
hey,
we're coming.
Dave is definitely. Oh, Dave's going to take it a step further. Check that out.
I love it.
All right.
Dave, I'll bring some 446 Sports gear up there for you too. It'll be a different hat. It won't be this one that I wear. It'll be your own fresh one, but we'll have that for you too. And man, I'm looking forward to just, as Jerry said, going around and seeing the campus and just soaking it up. And then when it's over with, I'll hop in the rental car and drive back to Omaha, sleep in the airport, fly out and be at church on Sunday morning. Man. So it's quick.
Where in the world is Doug Gann on week 0 week? Well, we're going to be keeping up with that for sure. Oh, and let's see here if I have this one. Just to answer the question, South Dakota. It doesn't take that far to get over from, Sioux City's, you don't have to cross too far to get over in South Dakota. Front porch sitting with friends. That's all right, even if fishing was slow. Well, good.
Okay.
Listen, that's a good summer. That is a good summer thing to do, Dave, so... I appreciate you getting in on the chat tonight. So you're gonna get a visit from Doug here pretty quickly, and we'll actually now I don't know, we don't have an October 31st set yet, but we'll be giving you a little bit more. I think more of my schedule will start lining up in July. So as to where Midwest Sports Saturday is going to be too.
You're saying a week 0 trip for you might still be on the table?
I'm not counting it out.
Dave, tell him.
Counting it out.
Tell him, Dave.
But I still have to. Yeah, Sioux City's split between 3 states. I thought it was right there. You got a little Nebraska in there as well. So, no,
that could be the problem. I may have been flying into the wrong spot. I don't know. You know me.
Well, I'm just not. I'm not ruling out the week 0 thing on that one. Attaboy. Which, by the way, there may not be week 0 too much longer. They may just start calling it week 1 if they make the adjustments to what they're going to do in the NCAA. So just something to keep in mind on that. All right, Doug, let's get into a couple of things really, really quickly. Man, Dave's got you covered.
I love it.
He has got you covered. That's the thing. I still want to get up there. I'm looking around to see if Mrs. Midwest Sportsnet's listening. I want to get up there this season. I want to see Drew play. Just saying, I do. So
if she'd go,
she'd totally go. She wants to get out of Dodge and go on more of these things too. So we'll see how that works out.
Mrs. 446 Sports has no desire whatsoever to do that.
No, that's the problem in all of this, Doug and Dave and Randy and everybody else, because okay, we're going to get information. Hang on, stay with me. I've got a couple things I do want to get tonight.
Yes,
but Doug, let me ask you this: in what I do, let's say GAC stuff. Okay, mm-hmm. Love my GAC work. Absolutely love my GAC work. Tournaments though, mainly tournaments. So let's think. Okay, the most recent one was softball. Yes. So you're getting 8 teams, preparing for 8 teams, and broadcast for those 8 teams in 4 games. And then then after it's done, I go back to the hotel and take all my notes for the next day. And, I'm up till whatever time, 1, 2 in the morning sometimes, sleep as much as I can. And that's usually not a lot. Then get back out the next day and you're covering again. And then you go back after semifinals and then notes for the championship. And then you're there. So I don't get to, all I'm saying is I spend as much time in the hotel and at the stadium or at the whatever facility it may be, neutral site at a tournament. I just don't get to see as much. And I know Mrs. Midwest Sportsnet wants to see more than I usually see because I'm there to do a job.
That's right.
So I'm not fussing. I mean, I love my job, but I just don't get to see out as much as maybe what I'd like to.
So in the beauty of my wife doesn't watch the show and I'm in the office and not in the house where she can hear me in this. So bless my heart.
Yeah, I'm looking around behind me.
Right. So last year when we went over to Funky Town I'm still going to do that the championship, her father lives there in Granbury. And so we went in real quick, came back, went to dinner, went to the game. I told her this week, I said, we're going to go over for a few days. We're going to go over there and immerse ourselves in there for the week. And she's like, yes. I said, now I'll be working all of it. She's like, okay, she'll go shopping. So she's able to go out and do that and spend some time. And we're slowing down and enjoying things a little bit more and not rushing so much.
I'll tell you when I get there.
That's right.
But I do want to. I want to be able to do that. All right. Let me talk really quickly then. Let's go 2 things. Okay. First, 24-team playoff in the NCAA. That is still on the table. And guys, I'm just telling you, I'm still against it. Now we're talking NCAA right now. We'll go to NAI in just a moment. NCAA still against it. And I want to go back to what we said, when Jerry was on. The regular season, this takes away from the regular season. And that's one of the things that, honestly, how many of you all watch as much regular season NCAA? I don't watch it as much anymore because they're looking to go to like 72 teams, 70 plus teams in the tournament.
That's right.
It takes away from the regular season. NBA, I don't watch as much the NBA anymore. It takes, you got like 10 teams that are in the playoffs now. I know play-in games and they're not that much, but still that's there. All right. I don't even know if this is going to show up or not as a,
Tulinvi's not happy about it. Apparently.
Yeah. I'm not a fan. I didn't know if the emoji was going to show up or not. Tulinvi. That was my only thing there. So, I don't, I'm not a fan of that. But what I'm saying is, with the stuff that's been coming out, and I know more things will happen once we get into a few more of these conference media days that'll come up in July. And I actually have a couple of my days locked in, Doug, for a couple of D2 media days that I'll be at. But I think that there's hope. I don't think it's a done deal yet, is all I'm saying. Okay? I don't think 24 teams is a done deal. But here's the issue. It's going to go back to it, and check this every time. This is the issue.
Right.
It's all about the money. It is all about the money. It's all about the money. Let me say this again. It's all about the money. This is not about the regular season. It's not about the kids. It's not about the schools. And Doug and Tool Envy and anyone else that's watching, it's not about us.
Correct.
It's not about the people that are the Big 8 fans way back when. It's not about the ones who enjoy every single week of the season, who are waiting. Can't wait to get to your campus, Dave. Can't wait till you get to your campus, Tool Envy. Can't wait to get to your campus, Randy. I've been to your campus many times. Can't wait to get there, and it takes away from that. So I know that they're holding off a little bit, and they're still trying to make this what was the SCORE Act, and it's been changed and adjusted a little bit. We'll see how it turns out. I don't have any more information from last week on that, so I'm not going to go too far. All I'm saying is I don't think it's a done deal. Now let's talk 2014 playoff in the NAI. Guys, did you know this was a possibility this year? It was talked about. Coaches, way back in January, said that it had enough that it went to a sports-specific issue that was taken to the NAI National Administrative Council, and I'm just letting you know that this was back in April. We didn't talk about it because we didn't have many shows back then, and then we had all our broadcasts that we had to do. I want to confirm it's not going to happen in 2026. Okay? So no 24 team field. The field is still 20. And Doug, I think that works for NAI. I really do. I like the 20 team field.
I want to find a way to get. I agree with Leo right there. A quarter of the teams. You don't need a quarter of the teams in. And we've talked about this every time that we've had a segment. I just want to find a way to get rid of bye weeks because I don't like folks to say having so many teams in where you've got some sitting around. Even if you have to shrink it a little bit where you've got just 16 teams in it, which will never happen. But no. I don't like bye weeks at all.
No. And one thing for sure, which by the way, let me amend this statement before it comes out because I know it's not there. With the NAIA, which I still at this point I'm saying it's college football at this point in its purest form. With the NAI, it's not all about the money. Now, here's my caveat, and Tool Envy, I'm going to put that up there here in just a second. Here's my caveat on that. More playoffs would mean more money, okay, because of the buy-in that has to happen, host schools and all that. I mean, if we can go through it. Well, this is another show, Doug. We can go through another time how the money comes in on that. So more playoff teams would mean more money. More playoff games would mean more money, but we're not talking about the same money that an additional 12 games and all of the revenue from the networks and all of that stuff. I mean, it's not even close to the same scale. So this is not apples and oranges. This is like apples and Cybertrucks. Okay, so it's just, which by the way, that's not even a real thing. Have you ever seen a Cybertruck?
I don't. That's a whole nother show. Wait, can you put Tool Envy's comment back up?
Yes. The one. Yeah, let's bring this up.
Not that one.
No,
the one. His emoji.
Yeah, that's what I thought of with the Cybertruck. That's
right.
My
thoughts on it too. But.
All right, let's go with this one with Tool Envy here, really quickly. Why quit paying attention in the small college schedule? It's a bit more old school, and the refs let the kids play a game that I recognize. As opposed to the NBA, when we won't even get into traveling or not. There we go. No,
it doesn't.
How do you call this a truck? It's not a truck.
See, I remember when the first vehicle that I had was an old 57 Chevrolet. That's a truck.
That's a truck.
That's a truck. Cybertruck indeed.
All right. Let me read this, by the way. This is one thing that did come out of the National Administrative Council from April. Now, so we're not doing 24 games that are 24 teams. It's still a 20-team field. I'm going to read this one, Doug, and I'm going to pull. I should have put this online. I can't. Let me do this. I'm just going to read it. The NAI National Administrative Council has approved a significant restructuring of national selection committees effective in the 26-27 academic year to enhance the integrity, consistency, and transparency of the postseason selection process. Under the new model, the NSCs will be composed exclusively of trained athletics administrators, with coaches no longer serving as voting members. Coaches will continue to play a critical evaluative role. And why is that a hard word? Anyway, in the through area rating committees, which will provide foundational input for the national selection decisions. This change is guided by key principles, including increased transparency and accountability, consistency across sports, data-driven decision-making, standardized processes, and a clearly defined role for coaches. We'll skip a couple of paragraphs. Overall, the updated model separates evaluation. That was not a hard word. Why was the other? Anyway, ARCs from final selection and seeding, NSCs, reinforcing objectivity while preserving the value of coach input. Doug, good job, National Administrative Council. First off, last year you got rid of the polls and rankings, which they were not ratings, they were rankings. Whole different show. Please see also my video on rankings versus ratings, but that's another story. They got rid of that as being part of the selection process. Props to you. NAI, you're doing it the right way. You followed it up by doing it the right way in getting rid of the coaches, not entirely. They get to evaluate. They get to be a part of the area rating committees, which, by the way, are still rankings. They really are. I'm sorry, they are. And they get to provide input for national selection decisions, but the coaches are not in there. and hallelujah. Doug, that's fantastic to take the coaches out of that. So you don't even want the perceived bias in there. This gets rid of, and the Bible, by the way, says this too, don't even have the appearance of something that's wrong. And this takes that away even that much more. And that's not to say the coaches don't get to evaluate. They do. They get to be a part of the area ratings, which are rankings committee, and have a part in the selection, which that does play a role. But they're there. I'm sorry, Doug. I'll take the soapbox down and let you talk.
You're not ever going to get the biased nature out of it. That's the only thing. There's somebody that's got a connection to something. Getting the coaches removed from it is job one, and that's well done. But you're always going to have that level of bias, and I don't know what the answer to that is. I don't know.
But there's more now when you're going to some of the computer models, some of the computer numbers that come up. They're a part of it now. And yeah, there's always, listen, I understand the human element's a part of it. I don't need the Terminator being on, the National Selection Committee.
That's right.
But I also understand that everybody has a role in this. The coaches still have a role. And I think if you can take away, if you tell me that I'm going to throw a team out there, just a random, that's not a random team, team out there in, say, the KCAC that has a 10-1 record. That was worked very hard to get there, and they have everything in place. And if they're not able to make it in, then, I don't know. And it keeps, listen, just getting rid of the rankings as being part of the process. That was the biggest deal for me, because the coaches voted in the rankings, not ratings. Right. And you could keep a team out of the top 20, which kept them out of the playoffs, because at one point, not in the not very distant past, they had to be in the top 20 just to be considered. Well, coaches could keep a team at 21 or 22, and they weren't even considered to be in the playoffs. So, I mean, a team that say is on the rise. You get a couple of losses early on in the regular season, but they're playing like lights out, and there are coaches that do not want to see that team in the playoffs. That keeps that from happening. Listen, I understand there's a human element, but I just think, I guess the bottom line of what I'm saying, Doug, I think the NAI is doing it the right way, and I'm proud of them. I really am. I can't say enough good about it.
One of the things that we talked about, Joey, when we started this back towards the end of the season, our 52 weeks of college football this week, was that we were fearful that the NAIA was afraid to take the lead on something. And that's what, look, jump out and be the lead dog in this and just go. And I don't mind that at all.
I'm really happy. And to your point then, because it was the 5 years of eligibility, and and then they backed off, and Division II also backed off, and everybody backed off and let D1, which is eventually maybe supposedly going to vote on something in June. That's what the plan is, that they're going to vote on something in June. As Joey Tribbiani would say on Friends, supposedly.
Yes, he would.
You guys ever watch Friends? Anyway,
how you doing? Yeah.
How you doing?
That's right.
For somebody named Joey, I was a lot more like Chandler. I was just a lot more sarcastic remarks. That was me.
Somehow.
Speaking of South sarcastic remarks, shout out to Shahan Jayaraja, just for no reason. All right, and moving on then.
There is a reason for that. There is, and we got away from it last week. And it was on SGA being named the player of the year. And so in basketball, in the NBA, and he breaks the story early on because he had the information when it was supposed to be announced later on. And they had
called embargoed information.
That's right. That's right. And that's everywhere they go. Said, hey, look, here's this information. Don't release it until noon. And that's right. And so he lets it go. And of course, he's on the Pat McAfee show trying to plead his case, which is garbage. I love Pat and I love what they do. But having him on and say, well, I'm a journalist, that's my job. No, it's not. It's your job to understand that. Don't take the chaos way. Take the right way and do it the right way. And click, happy, looking to get clicks on your social media. And that's terrible. That's not your job.
So and for everyone who's watching this, Doug, I'm going to ask you as a I am a journalist now.
Yes.
This show is journalism, but we get our commentary and we tell you it's our commentary. So I'll tell you up front, but here we report things usually most often when you have two sources. I was taught in journalism school, which I went to, by the way, at Oklahoma State, very good journalism school, that if your mother tells you she loves you, get a second source. That was what we learned there in J school. I said that for Jody too, if she's listening, by the way.
I was looking at the credential process just because I was going to 3 to see if they had anything up for next year's championships game, which they don't. And they have their NAIA credential policy, and it spells out in there, don't just put something out based off a rumor. You better check it. You better double check it and triple check it. And that keeps with the integrity of the NAIA's media credentialing policy. And it should be that way. Now, why did I say all that? Because, Doug, I get information from SIDs, from schools SIDs, from conference SIDs, I get information from a lot of things and a lot of sources. And sometimes I get information that says this is embargoed until noon on, a day later or 2 days later. The reason you get that information up front is so you can have your story written and ready so that after the league or the school announces it, then you can get your story out there as well, and you're prepared to get it out there in a timely fashion. The reason you get that embargoed information is because those places trust you. Yep, that's right.
And if you do something like that, and I don't care if it says in your Twitter bio, national sports writer for CBS Sports, they're not going to trust you anymore.
Not at all. No. And that's the terrible thing. That's the terrible thing about it. And look, I know you didn't want to get off on that soapbox again about him, but that's
he put Friends University in quotes as if it wasn't a real place. So whatever. Forever
down the hill. Look, look, that's the crazy thing too. We sit on some information a while, and you're right about it. We got and this is just this year, we got the all conference. As soon as the vote was over, I get everything to me. But now when it's released at noon on that Friday, every one of my graphics were done, and I'm able to go with the story just as soon as it's eligible to go. And it's not like they're just, because what's going to happen with it here, and I'm going to point in here again to guys that are doing that, you're going to get the Friday evening blue dot dump at 4:00 when there's just jammed in with everything else. And okay, here's this information now. You don't get any priority to having it, and we build reputations in order to get that. Yeah,
that's exactly right. And we should have Dr. Jesse. Have we had Dr. Jesse on here?
I don't think so.
Okay. I visited with him, Matt. I had him on Midwest Sports Saturday. I've had him on more than once, I think, on Midwest Sports Saturday. I actually have had him more than once on Midwest Sports Saturday, but I think I was in Waxahachie both times. Now, Corey has had him on NAIF ball, has him on probably once a year. I would love to have him on. We should have Dr. Jesse on. He is, sharp guy, absolutely a sharp guy. And he is, well, let's see, I'm trying to recall his entire role. He's one of the lead guys, though, with the NAI, with the football in particular. I'm just embarrassed that I don't know his specific role right now. I don't think I can pull that up. But Dr. Jesse from down at Nelson, who is the athletic director there and a big part of football, overseeing that the NAAC and all that goes on with football. I'll have his role with me next time. I can look that up. But, yeah, I think we should have him on here on college football this week, too. Great guy. Absolutely phenomenal guy and sharp. I will say this, though. Now, it was funny, too, Doug, because I went to Nelson's first game of the year last year, interestingly enough, in Olathe, and they lost. And then I went to their second game, and they played a Sooner Athletic Conference opponent, and they lost. And Dr. Jesse said, please don't come to our next game.
Come back, yeah. So look, it might not be as cool as Jerry with the helmets, but it's still.
Oh man. Yeah. Well, you know what, Doug? I think we probably. I have. The last thing I was going to say tonight. I think that is the last thing I was going to say tonight was this: if you're in Division II and you're planning on transferring, you have until midnight to get in the portal. Closes as of tomorrow. Just saying. Doug, there may be somebody from Division II watching us right now. And
they say, I'm glad I was on the show tonight.
That's right. I'm glad that I listened.
That's what I had to do tonight over the next 3 hours.
There was something I had going on.
That's right. I do it. I just couldn't think of what I wanted. So,
just want to throw that out there. All right. Doug, anything else before we wrap up?
So you can check us out at 446sports.com. 2 days ago, we started at the 90-day mark. We started our 90-day preview up until kickoff on Thursday, the 27th. And so we'll find out a little bit more about the LCU Wildcats. They're going to be pretty good this year. They returned almost everybody. Lost the Defensive Player of the Year to McNeese. So you can read all about that every day. People still do write a few things. And so we'll do a day-by-day preview. Of course, we start high school football right after that. But it's summertime and the live streams are shutting down. And I love that.
You know, I used to write more on MidwestSports.net than I do, but that whole Bryan County Patriot thing has been taking a lot of my time. So sorry about that. You know, but the YouTube channel's going well.
I need to start reading that.
You should. Some good information on there. If you want to know about Bryan County, Oklahoma. All right, my closing remarks. First off, shout out to Matt, to Leo, to Tool NV, Dave on tonight, Randy.
Dave, I can't wait. I can't wait to be wherever it is that I'm going.
I'm trying not to be envious, guys. That one's going to be cool, but definitely do want to make it up there at some point in time. All right, on Midwest Sports Net this week. First off, 50 states in 50 days is continuing. So we're going to culminate this on July 4th on the 250th birthday of our country. Look, if you haven't stopped by and seen some of these videos, I've had the privilege to get to talk to some incredibly cool people. And the most recent one, which aired yesterday, Rick Rhodes, who I talked to him in Colorado Springs, Colorado, but from Alabama. Oh, right. Doug, you got to hear this guy. I mean, and if you're driving somewhere tomorrow for 40 minutes, put this on for like 33 of them. Because he tells all about Alabama, and I mean he was at Troy, Troy University now, Troy State, won a couple of national championships back in the 80s. I could listen to him for another 3 hours. I mean, I kind of consciously shut it down because I didn't want it to go forever. But Joey Estrella from Hawaii, got to speak Doug with folks from both Alaska and Hawaii last week, and it was fantastic. So this guy from he got the first ever baseball coach at Hawaii Hilo, and went to World Series in the NAI, played Division I, or coached the NAI Division I and Division II. Saw him through all of those. Anyway, a lot of fun. This has been a fun arc, Doug. So,
how many states in are you?
15 now, I believe.
Okay. So I guess if July the 4th, you still got time.
Oh yeah, we got a ways to go. So that is all right. Alabama and Alaska were great. Thank you, Matt. Appreciate that. I actually, by the way, just I'll give this one. Well, Matt's a member, so I'll give this one away for Matt's sake. I'm trying to get a Mayville State guy for North Dakota. I'm in the works of trying to get a Mayville State guy. Just to let you know. Just saying.
There you go.
If it works out. That's where we are. Caught Alaska, Leo. Thank you very much. I'm telling you, the Alabama one is good. And I don't think I promoted that on social media yet, so that's first thing in the morning. The weekend social media promotions have not flown as well on my stuff. So
they do not. Folks are off doing other things. I don't get a lot of love on the weekends at all, unless it's a game that we're doing.
So I'm pushing that. But I know there are some good ones ahead for this week as well, so we'll just please keep watching Midwest Sports Net and 446 Sports. Doug, it's a privilege for Jerry Quickle. Oh, my goodness. What a privilege it was to get to visit with him tonight. And he gave us time live, too. That's neat. So he just – and really, I will say this for him, too. Doug shot me the text. I didn't know you had never seen him before. I've been following this guy for years. And he said, man, we got to get him on the show. I was like, you know what? It's a really good point. So I contacted him, and he was just amenable and able to – I don't know if he's able to do that all the time, but how cool it was that he was able to do that, and he was just a blessing.
And it started because I saw his post, and I don't know why the algorithm flipped it into my Twitter feed like it did, but I saw that it was on there, and he said one of the teams he was missing was LCU, and I said, I just made
a guy.
Do what?
Do you know a guy?
Yeah, my guy got that, but he told me he was missing Grambling as well, and I think I can get that too.
All right. Well, we just want to say thank you, Jerry, and what a blessing.
Yes.
So to all of you who have watched us all the way through, man, live stream tonight, shout out to all you guys. What a blessing you all are. Our community is the best. Hands down, our community is the best. We love you guys. You're the best. If you're watching the video on demand, you're watching the replay, and you made it this far, you are an absolute trooper as well. So shout out to you as well. So for Doug Gann, I'm Joey McWilliams. We will be back next Sunday night. God bless you all, and stop by our channels over the course of the week. Have a great, great Sunday evening and a good week next week.